In the year 2020, when COVID-19 struck the entire globe, Ebonyi State of Nigeria, under the brilliant governorship of His Excellency Engineer Chief David Nweze Umahi, FNSC FNATE, led a powerful proactive charge against the pandemic. At the heart of this emergency project of safeguarding Ebonians from the pandemic was the Honorable Speaker of Ebonyi State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Francis Ogbonna Nwifuru. He was appointed chairman of the Ebonyi State Anti-COVID-19 Welfare and Fundraising Subcommittee by His Excellency the Governor, amongst other very significant assignments. On March 27, 2020, His Excellency the Governor led members of the Ebonyi State Executive Committee on Anti-COVID-19 to banks and other public places to sensitize Ebonians and ensure strict compliance to the COVID law. From then on, members of the committee began losing sleep to ensure the safety of Ebonians. From March 30th, 2020, Right Honorable Francis Ogbonna Nwifuru began same sensitization assignments to various public places as an extension of what the governor had started. He was at Roban Stores, Abakaliki, International Market, border areas within the North Senatorial Zone of the state, and many other public places. On March 31st, 2020, floodgates of cash and material donations for the pandemic opened. The first donation received by the Honorable Speaker on behalf of the state was the sum of 28,500,000 naira only from United Bank of Africa (UBA). He equally received the donation of 72 Veronica buckets for washing of hands from leaders of building materials market in Abakaliki. Indeed, it was the start of beautiful gestures from individuals and various organizations within and outside the state, making both cash and material donations to the state to help cushion the adverse economic effects of the pandemic. As the chairman of the Anti-COVID-19 Welfare and Fundraising Subcommittee, Right Honorable Francis Ogbonna Nwifuru constantly notified the government, Ebonians and the public of every single dime and material that were being donated for the cause of safeguarding our people from the pandemic. His official Facebook page was always revolving with updates of such donations by minutes and hours as the donations came in. And those updates are still there for reference purposes. During that period, he was always a weekly guest at the State's Broadcasting Service (EBBC), giving live updates to Ebonians on radio and television regarding the state of the funds raised, materials received, and welfare being prepared to cushion the effects of the pandemic. Next in line was to swing into legislation, and on April 1st, 2020, Ebonyi State House of Assembly passed into law Ebonyi State Coronavirus and Other Dangerous Infectious Diseases Law number 005 of 2020. It was a beautiful legislation to give legal backing to the state in combating and stopping the spread of the virus. During plenary of the same day, the Honorable Speaker led the entire members of the House in donating their April 2020 salaries and allowances for the same cause. Through a motion moved by the former Deputy Speaker of the House, Right Honorable Odefa Obasi Odefa. The COVID legislation was signed into law by the Governor on April 3rd, 2020. As at that time, the state was yet to record an index case, but due to the proactiveness of His Excellency the Governor, an emergency isolation center was swiftly built and equipped for response. Again, the Governor directed the Honorable Speaker to handle these assignments, which was inspected by the Deputy Governor, His Excellency Dr. Eric Kelechi Igwe, PhD Law.
The same way, thank the CMD, the Commissioner for Health, for also ensuring that we have the best here. I'm not sure that most states have availed themselves of this kind of opportunity. Their medical advice, their expert opinion, in ensuring that we get fully prepared for this unfortunate emergency is commendable. The whole team that worked to actualize this, on behalf of the Governor, I want to thank all of you and pray that though we are prepared, But these unfortunate emergency must not come into Ebonyi. In Jesus' name. Amen. So I'm also informed by the CMD that we have additional 15 beds. 16 beds. This one is just the emergency unit. And we can't be prepared more than we have done. We use the opportunity to congratulate and thank the governor who has made all these things happen. It is only his passion, his zeal, and also his desire for the well-being of his people that has made this happen. We are grateful to him. We couldn't have had it better than this. We are grateful to God Almighty who has preserved us as a state up to this point. No record of such a disease in Ebonyi. We are grateful also to God for giving us Engineer Chief David Nwifuru, a proactive leader, a passionate leader, and a man who takes for his people. May God bless all of us.
Amen. His Excellency the Governor went further to give directives for production of locally made face masks in their thousands by Telos residents in Ebonyi State. These face masks were meant to complement the donated ones and others purchased by government and was distributed to Ebonyans. The Telos were paid for producing the face masks.
My name is Ogbonna Nwifuru. I'm a graduate and currently I'm a fashion designer. I want to thank the state government for how far they have gone to eradicate this COVID-19 and also to eradicate poverty from this state. This program has really helped all Telos, upcoming Telos. I know after this program, a lot of us will be able to pay our shop rent, buy new equipment. They would have taken this opportunity to other places. They would have given to a bigger firm to produce. But they decided to give it to the masses, to the poor Telos. Thank you, our government. Ndị be anyị, efa m Kelechi Ogbonna, onye Ọnịcha. N'uchoro m kene gọọmenti anyị, n'otu ihe na-agba mbọ ime na COVID-19 abata Ebonyi State. N'otu ihe na-agbakwa mbọ because this period will be a very trying period for everybody. Ndị aduna, ego aduna. But due to this program, tell us a do opportunity to help and produce face masks. They make your be protected, and they are also making money. Ijikwa keep their family through this trying time. Thank you.
My name is Ogbonna Nwifuru. We are here. We produce locally made face masks for COVID-19 protection. We are here to submit it, and the government is paying for it. When you submit, they will pay you the amount of money you are supposed to be paid. Then you, as you can see, everybody, tell us within the province of Abakaliki are actually coming here to submit locally made face masks, and they will get paid at the end of it. Okay, if I need to make a no face mask in Kanye, no mind, Kabun came with an Obodo. I am over the government and you may know mine.
My name is Ogbonna Nwifuru and I'm from Kogi State. We are here to submit the face mask that we called for the state government. It's actually a nice thing to be part of this project to make the face mask. Ogbonna Nwifuru. Face mask are actually
Doko woke Mrs. Ogbonna Nwifuru na call teji oya na zi keke ati anyi ke COVID-19 wo fule ko woro mana kwanyo ke ati anyi na face mask and face mask anyi okele ono no ye kwan lenke ta to ke wa okene COVID-19 oke governor anyo okene Chief David Umahi oti eke ono tulo oloma mi no le like it okay wa COVID-19 oke ai li meshi kita ko banyo yo le ai le meshi ke ito yo okay so like it okay wa okay governor anyo mo try ke do governor anyo nyi maletelo ona ye
akọ ya oke ejika meji ya okuji governor anya ke ono na le oyo tutu lo po no tutu na go governor anya ke because me no be the governor anya ai ki mechi ke iya me ko bo li shi ke COVID-19 no ke ko to o wor man no ke China me ke Italy me ke London mo po ke governor anya ke na Ebonyi state na go governor anya ke governor anya mo make sure ke ko okuju la anya ere chi oda ke ai mi jo okuji le mo fa anya ai mechi ke like it okay wow like ikodo governor anya le go ko na nwa anya li anya ko anya ismo yo igo zora anya like it okay wow igo anya otutu imechi ike kolokere Jesus ai me dey okay wow ayenyofo. Indeed, our governor is a powerful governor. He saw, I will call him a man that saw tomorrow. He saw that this thing will happen. As if to say this thing will happen. He made everybody, even civilians, every civil servant to be a farmer. Now, this COVID-19, all the states have locked down their states. But here in Ebonyi state, there is free movement. We have enough food. We have enough to even to stay 1 year, but we are not praying for that. We have enough food that will sustain Ebonyi because our governor is agricultural governor. Now, to come to production of face masks, our governor have indeed solved a lot of problems in different families. Tellers are really making a lot of money from it.
It was another assignment which Right Honorable Francis Ogbonna Nwifuru discharged so brilliantly, showing again his transparency, forthrightness and dogged leadership qualities. Some general hospitals were converted to isolation centers zone by zone in the state for proximity reasons. These facilities were inspected by the Honorable Speaker to ensure that they were medically top gear for the case at hand. He explained same to some officials of the Nigerian Medical Association who visited the isolation center at Unity Square, Abakaliki on April 21st, 2020.
I have to go to general hospital and exam not general hospital. It doesn't mean that if somebody from Michelle is sick and is suspecting COVID-19 that you're taking the person to exam not. No, you take the person to exam to general hospital. They're very close. So we have prepared 6 general hospitals for that. We are already buying a lot of equipment through the Ministry of Health.
Having received and procured relief materials, His Excellency the Governor gave directives for distribution of the materials to Ebonians through various groups in the state. The first point of call was the widows and religious bodies in the state, and the Honorable Speaker delivered the packages through Very Reverend Father Dr. Abraham Wale, Senior Special Advisor to the Governor on Welfare and Religious Matters.
There is no doubt that this pandemic has created various economic crises in the world today, which have affected all of us directly or indirectly. Consequently, His Excellency Engineer Chief David Umezeomahi, Governor of Ebonyi State, has approved the distribution of some palliative packages, which he hopes will help to cushion the harsh economic impact on Ebonyi.
The bishops and can chairman, the can leadership, the can at the local government with the widow's care of His Excellency of Ebonyi State. We also promise you our continual prayer. It is a spiritual and human war. It is spiritual war because when there is a war, the effect is maximum. It affects the spirit when the body is affected. That's why we always use the Latin adage of mens sana in corpora sana. The mind is healthy, the soul is healthy when there is an integral health. If the body is affected, the soul is damped. If the soul is affected, the body is dragged to the pit. So it has affected us spiritually. That's why we need a prayer. We also have to collaborate by keeping the COVID law, the COVID law of always stepping out of the house with the face mask, which were made as a compulsory commandment of safety from this pandemic. The second one will be the societal distance, no hugging, and making sure that we have sanitizers. Even in my pocket as I speak to you, I always have mine as the second commandment against this pandemic.
Same went for journalists, market women, IPAC, the security operatives, NUT, Ones Ndibo, Nigerian Bar Association, and many other groups. It was indeed the tip of the iceberg, as the governor further directed that 200 names of the poorest of the poor be compiled from each of the 1,785 polling units in the state for them to receive their relief materials. The The collation exercise was done simultaneously in all polling units of the state on Sunday, May 17, 2020 from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. As this was happening, various stakeholders in the state were collecting their own palliatives from the governor through the Honorable Speaker.
Former Zonal Chairman of Ebonyi North. Baraka. Aguni ke kile mo governor. Oto mo de yafu kere ko nyawa. Dike. Kumera yi ayata. Kwa ni meme wa gana ba ya ko ko fiale boyi trejo. Wata do. Anye nwere nwai. Let's make government take a do shake or what? What about telephone? Nekele ide for my onyoma. Oh my dear kid. About that girl that get it. Ekele abo. And I'm not there on that side. And Gidal. And Nekele Para, Honorable Speaker. Ebadabonye, Bekenya Daro, Gudenya Tayameda. Logic.
The sharing of the palliatives was done in the same transparent, strategic and committed process through various local government areas. There were piles of food items shared across the state, again led by the chairman of the Anti-COVID-19 Welfare and Fundraising Subcommittee, Right Honorable Francis Ogbonna Nwifuru. The secretary of the subcommittee and the current commissioner for housing, Chief Clement Mweke, midwifed the sharing charts as he explained these to various observers and monitors.
As we're taking, each local government chairman is going to take it down, and this committee that signed it will make sure that these things are done to the people. Exactly, and we have developed a letter of indemnity. We developed so that we will not have time to be serious with that. We have acknowledgement. This was acquired that that is acknowledging this carton of Granatoya, this carton of Maki, this carton of immediate basis in all the polling units.
The indemnity forms were duly signed by the then local government caretaker chairman and many palliatives distributed accordingly. By June 15, 2020, the state already recorded 182 cases, but we were equal to the task as His Excellency Engineer Chief David Nweze Omahi, Governor of Ebonyi State, through his proactive measures had procured equipment and renovated various health centers for such eventuality.
Coronavirus is a very bad thing. It is also a wake-up call for leaders of this country and the citizens of this country. I believe that even before the end of the coronavirus, we will take our medical no longer needs. And this is one of it. It was not very easy for me to take the hospital. It's not because we are expecting less. But this has also given us the very hard until the mind of God is made up to make balance. The Holy God activated. It's a completion of ongoing job and then full equipping of the hospital. Like here you have ultrasound mentioned, you have X-ray mentioned, you have a theater. It's a complete general hospital, can perform any function. But for this COVID, we relocated a few patients here to our primary health center. And then we have turned this one into a COVID treatment center. We intend to do that for the entire 13 general hospital. We also intend to have 3 testing centers in Ebonyi State. We intend to have one more in the central, one in the south. This we are going to do between.
Thank you very much.
Let me say that the number of cases we report is as a result of the number of testing that we are doing. And for any state that is not doing extensive testing, you are not doing it for your citizens. Because this COVID, from experience, we've seen that a healthy man or woman have it, and they go through it and nothing, will not show symptoms, will not be down. But in the process, it can spread the virus to a weaker man or woman, and that's where the problem is. So we are fighting so hard to strengthen the protection of the weaker people in our society. Some people say, but people have not been dying. Nobody will die. But if you check, all our elderly people are all hiding in their houses. Somebody told me that he said it's below water. You know what that means. So we want to protect the larger societies so that our elderly ones and those that have underlying illness can also live a normal life.
His Excellency did not stop there. In December 2020, he mobilized all the local government chairmen to make available more palliatives to cushion the COVID-19 effects for Ebonians in the festive season. Once more, the Honorable Speaker ensured he inspected the readiness of the chairman as directed. In all, Right Honorable Francis Ogbonna Nwifuru played a significant role in ensuring that Ebonyi State was kept safe during the unfortunate pandemic era. He was willing, he was practical, his purpose was sincere, his tenacity unmatched, his drive was divine. Indeed, he typified transparency, shrewdness, hard work, and dedication. By the special grace which God alone gives, when elected as governor of Ebonyi State come 2023, Right Honorable Francis Ogbonna Nwifuru will employ even more stellar qualities in ensuring that he consolidates on the brilliant achievements of this present government in the health sector and beyond.